Gutenberg Blocks are awesome. They are easy to use, SEO friendly, and they can speed up your website drastically. But as much as I would love to say Gutenberg Blocks are perfect, they are not. Not all Gutenberg blocks are created equally, and some will actually cause your website to slow down. I noticed this while doing some tutorials using those blocks. So today we are going to discover which are those blocks. In this video, we'll go through 11 popular Gutenberg blocks like the Google Maps block, the Accordion, Testimonials, among others, and we'll see which are the ones that are tested and proven to slow down your website. And finally, we'll talk about how to optimize your website if those blocks are essential to your business. So I would highly recommend that you stay all the way to the end of this video because the final 3 blocks are the ones that will put a dent to your site speed. So let's hit it. Hey, this is Jack, and if this is your first time watching a video from my channel, I share lots of WordPress tips and tutorials as well as online business content. So if you want to learn any of these topics, then subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification. My only goal is to share with you ways to save lots of money for your online business using WordPress. I don't use any page builders and site speed is my main focus. So if you run an online business and you're paying hundreds of dollars to make your website work, subscribe and you will become a money saving expert for your business. So before we get into the test, I hope you can do me a little favor and smash that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm. I really appreciate that and thank you. So before we do any testing, we always need to know the baseline. So I've created a completely new post on my website and we're going to put that page to test on Google PageSpeed Insights. We will not do any other tests on this video, otherwise this video is going to be very long. But if you're interested to go more in depth, I'll be doing all the tests on the back end and putting the results on a blog post. And when the blog post is ready, I'll place a link in the description. So just to show you how the page looks like on my website, it looks like this. So let's copy this link and put this to test. So the blank page has a score of 98. And these are the speed data. Let's record this and this will be the base data for us to determine which are the Gutenberg blocks that will actually slow down your website. Now in case you don't understand what these elements are from the Google PageSpeed Insights, let me take some time to explain it. You know, when you visit a website and it is still loading, you will usually see a blank page and sometimes you would think that the website is stuck. So this first contentful pane is a time taken for the first object to load on a page that gives an indicator to the user that the page is still loading instead of making them feel that it is stuck. So if this is the first contentful pane, then the time to interactive is the delay between the start of the page load and the time the user can actually do anything on a page, like for example scrolling. And then the speed index is the time it takes to load all the elements above the fold, which means this. Above the fold means whatever content or element that is supposed to load on the screen. The total blocking time measures the amount of time it takes between the first contentful pane and the time to interactive, where in between there is a lag time where the server is performing some long tasks. The blocking time will usually occur when a web page is executing some JavaScript. So the more JavaScript heavy a Gutenberg block is, this will increase the blocking time, hence increasing the time to interactive. Now the largest contentful pane is a metric that measures when the largest content element such as the largest image or the text block becomes visible. And finally, cumulative layout shift is something like this. There is an unexpected shift in your content and it annoys the user. In this example, the user just ordered 56 items unintentionally. The lower the number of this metric, the better it is. So now that we understand the metrics, let's dive right into the first block. So the first block we're going to test is the testimonial block. This is a very common Gutenberg block for most websites, so it makes sense for us to test this first. Now there are 2 types of testimonials. One is the grid layout and the other is the carousel. So we'll first test the grid and then the carousel. So normally a site will have an average of 5 testimonials. So that's what we are going to do. I've created 5 testimonials. Let's update this and refresh. So this is how it looks right now. Let's put this link to test. So these are the results, and let's compare them. So let's take a look at the change column. It shows that there isn't much difference between the data of the blank page and the testimonial grid. It probably only takes 0.2 seconds more to load the content above the fold, otherwise the testimonial grid is definitely not a block that will slow down the web page. Now, I wouldn't say the same for the testimonial carousel. I know from experience that carousels are a little heavy because they use JavaScripts. But anyway, let's put that to a test. Next, let's change the layout to a carousel, and then let's update this. And this is how it looks like. So let's test this again. So these are the results, let's compare them. So as expected, carousels will slow down your website by a little bit, especially this total blocking time. The more JavaScript you have, it is standard that the more blocking time there will be because there are more tasks for the server to process. And because of this blocking time, the time to interactive is affected as well. Now, the testimonial carousel is not a block that you should totally avoid. Having one testimonial carousel wouldn't hurt the site speed that much, but if you have tons of carousels on a single web page, you might want to consider cutting that down. So next on the list, we have Accordion, which is also a popular block, and this is mainly used on sites that have an FAQ section. And as you can see, I've removed the previous testimonial block, so it will not affect the result of this test. And I've added about 5 FAQ Accordion. And let's update this, and it will look like this. Now using the same link, let's test this again. So these are the results, let's compare it. Well, I'm actually quite surprised by the result of the Accordion because I always thought that this is one of the blocks that will slow down a site. This is actually a lightweight block that you can use without worrying about the site speed, so let's move on to the next. Now, some websites, especially those local businesses websites, will have Google Maps embedded to their site, so let's see what's the speed impact on this block. So let's add block, and let's search for maps. We will use the maps blocks from Astra's ultimate add-ons from Gutenberg because it's very simple and easy to use. All you need to do is to type an address here, like for example Singapore, and a postal code, and it will bring you there. So let's update this. So now let's do the speed test. And this is the test results. And here are the data. Let's record this and analyze. Now, I'm not surprised by this because whenever a web page needs to draw information from a third party, in this case it is the Google Maps, it would definitely cause the page to load a lot slower, and this is reflected in the time to interactive. Now, there are 2 ways to speed up a web page that has a Google Map on it. The first is to have a speed optimization plugin such as WP Rocket. If you want to check WP Rocket out, I've left the link in the description. It is my affiliate link and you will get the latest discounts through that link. And I will also show you how much of a difference it will make using that plugin in the wild, so stick with me to the end. The second way to optimize for speed, which is my recommendation, is just to replace the Google Maps with an image snapshot of the map that shows your business address. And you will give a call to action for your customers to click on it to open up the Google Maps app. This way, the web page will only load the image and it will speed up the web page drastically. So if you are considering using the Google Maps Gutenberg block, I highly recommend that you avoid it completely. Now, this is another popular Gutenberg block, which is the post carousel. Lots of websites use this to showcase their latest blog posts or their latest content on the category. And for my case, because this is a new website I'm building up, so it is lacking on the number of posts, but generally it looks like this. And as you can see on the page, there are no other blocks on this page. So let's do the test. Now, this is the result and these are the data and these are the issues. And let's do one more test because there are a lot of issues regarding the images on this block. So let me remove it and let's do the test again and see what are the differences so that we can have a clear indicator of this block instead of having data that is influenced by other issues. So let's go back to the WordPress editor and let's update this, refresh, and now the images are gone. Let's do the test again. So the data is much better without the images. But of course, if you want to have images over here, you may not want to upload a very large image like I did. Maybe an image that is 300 by 200 pixels will be good enough, with an image size of lesser than 100 KB. That will be the optimal. But now let's analyze the data. So again, be it you need to draw data from a third party or from your direct server, it will take a longer time. Internal data will not be as bad as external data. So as you can see here, the total blocking time increases a lot because there is a lot of data that needs to be drawn out to be placed on the page, which increases the time to interactive, and the carousel by itself adds to the loading time as well. So what I recommend is to totally avoid using post carousels unless your site deals a lot with news and trends where it constantly needs to be updated. If not, I would rather you create a static call to action showing your best articles instead of having your server draw out the data. But obviously, it would take more time to redesign your static element when there's a need to change. However, if there is a need for post carousels on your site, the site speed can be fixed with a speed optimization plugin. Okay, this is a popular block that is used by most people who uses page builders. Before Gutenberg, this wasn't possible on the WordPress editor. So this is basically the circular progress bar block, but a Gateway Gutenberg plugin. So let us update this and refresh, and we'll see this animate. Now let us do the speed test. So this is the result for one progress bar, and normally we will not use only one. So for example, if you're writing a review blog post and there are several criteria that you're reviewing, you may probably use 3 to 5 of these progress bars. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's add a total of 5 progress bars and let's test this again. So I've created 5 circular progress bars. Let's update this and refresh, and let's analyze. So this is the result and the data. Let's analyze them. So this block can be considered as lightweight and you shouldn't worry so much about using it. The animation is more of a CSS than a JavaScript, so it wouldn't cause more loading time. And if your audience sees a progress bar that is loading, they will not leave the page psychologically, even though the speed index is a little high. So I wouldn't worry much about this block. So now let's test the tabs block that work like this. This is a simple function that can be used as an alternative for FAQs. So let's update this and refresh. As you can see, there are no other blocks. So this is how it looks and how it works. Let's test this. So this is the test result and the data. Let's analyze it. Now the tab block functions similarly to the accordion block as it serves information in bite sizes, but it works better with shorter headlines. The accordion works better with longer headlines, but the tabs blocks is a little heavier than accordion, and if you ask for my opinion, I would choose accordion over tabs to deliver information. I don't know about you, what do you think of this? Do you prefer the accordion block or the tabs block? Please leave a comment down below and let me know your opinion and thoughts on this. So now let's test this counter block by getWidth, and it will count from whatever number you specify all the way to the end, and you can even determine the animation duration. So let's update this and see how it looks like. Let's refresh. So as you can see, this is counting up. And again, this block was only available for people who use page builders, but now it is available on the WordPress editor with Gutenberg Blocks. So it's interesting to see how this performed. So let's test this. So this is the result and the data. Let's analyze them. Now, though there are lots of negatives here, the counter block didn't cause much impact on the site speed. The differences are just minute, so I wouldn't worry so much about using this block. So this content timeline is a popular block for companies that want to share their history and milestones with their customers to build trust. And I've created a mock-up of the block, and let's update this and let's see how it looks like on the live site. So as you scroll down, you will see a black line that connects the dot, and you can basically change the color of this line as well. For example, like this, that matches your brand. So let's test this. And here we go, this is the result and the data. Let's analyze it. So there are a lot of negatives, but the differences are minute. So this is a lightweight block. I wouldn't worry much about using it. Now let's test a super popular block. Most websites, especially the e-commerce sites, have this call to action slider block. And this block comes from a gateway block called media and text slider. And depending on how you use this, you can actually use this as a hero section of your web page. So let's test this block to see if it slows down your website. So this is the result and the data. Let's analyze this. So whenever there is a carousel, it will always cost a little load time, but if this is a block that you really need to use, especially when it comes to an e-commerce store, then I would recommend using it with a page speed optimization tool. Now next, if you run a blog, I'm pretty sure you would have embedded a video on your page before. So in this test, we will check if embedding a video on your site using a Gutenberg block will actually slow down your site. So over here, let's select the video block and let's insert from URL. Let's say it's one of my YouTube video. And as you can see, I've removed other blocks as well, so we will not skew our results. Let's update and let's test this out again. And here we go. These are the results. Let's record this and analyze them. I think you already know, embedding a video from YouTube means drawing out data from a third party. But this block is kinda essential. Sometimes it's much easier to have a video that communicates the information, tonality, and emotions rather than having your site visitors read your content. So I think instead of directly embedding a YouTube video on your site, the better option is to use a block coming up next. Since embedding videos on a blog is sometimes unavoidable, maybe we can try a video pop-up blog. Who knows, maybe this will help. So let's check it out. Let's add a blog and search for pop-up. And this is a blog from the Gateway plugin. Let's select this. Let's embed the same video. And then let's upload a thumbnail. I pre-uploaded it. And I've optimized this image to fit the size of the page, and I've tried to optimize the image size as much as I could, and this is the best I could get, which is still acceptable, but the ideal size is below 100 KB. But anyway, let's just select this and edit the style a little, and let's update this and refresh. So this is how it looks like, and when I click on this, it will pop up the video. So I hope this helps, because this is a very good alternative for you to embed a video on your website. So let's test this. And there we go, definitely a better option for us to embed a video. So let's record this and analyze the results. So the video pop-up is not foolproof. It will still cause the site to slow down a little, but not as much as directly embedding the video to the site. So again, I highly recommend using this block with a speed optimization tool. And now let me show you how WP Rocket can help with speeding up your website using these blocks. And now let me show you how WP Rocket can help with speeding up your website when using these blocks. So this page is now loaded with all the blocks that I've just mentioned, and you will guess that this page is going to load super slowly. So let's test this first to see how bad this page is performing. So in my opinion, this is bad. Now let me install the WP Rocket plugin. Do all the settings. And now let's test this again. So this is not really ideal, and I think the culprit is the Google Maps and the video embed. So these are the two most heavy blocks that I recommend to avoid because they are alternatives. So let's remove them and test it again. So there we go. Under the Google Maps, this is gone, and under the video embed, this is gone as well. The rest are still here. So let's test this. So you see, WP Rocket works wonders, and that's why I recommend you checking it out. Now let me sum it up by saying that you should avoid using these blocks because they are heavy and will definitely slow down your website. Then these blocks are fine to use, but it is advisable to use it with a page speed optimization tool like WP Rocket. And finally, these are safe to use because they are lightweight. Now, if you wish that I do an experiment on blocks that are not mentioned here, feel free to leave a comment down below and let me know what are the common uses for the block. And obviously, I cannot update this video, so any updates will be done on the blog post, and when the post is ready, the link will be in the description. I hope that you now have a good idea on the Gutenberg blocks you should avoid, and I hope to get a thumbs up from you. Don't forget to subscribe for more WordPress and online business content. All the best to you, take care and stay safe.